This is a very important verse and a very important principle is described by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Previous verse we saw in the purport, Prabhupada had talked about some very important principle which is related to what is talked here. We will try to see this. So, the four Kumaras continue to speak. Nahi antaram bhagavati iha. Here, iha, in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha world, there is nothing like distinction. There is no difference. There is no disharmony. Nahi antaram. Antaram means distinction, differences. Just like sometimes I and you may develop some differences. I think about a particular topic in a certain way. You think about particular topic in a different way. So what happens? There are differences between me and you. My understanding, your understanding, there is a difference. My thoughts, your thoughts, there is a difference. My ideas, your ideas, there are differences. Now in the spiritual world, there is no difference. Krishna's thoughts, devotees' thoughts, no difference. Krishna's understanding, devotees' understanding, residents' understanding, no difference. So, that is what Prabhupada, this whole purport he is translating and commenting about harmony, disharmony. So in the Vaikuntha world, there is no disharmony. Nahi antaram. Antaram, Prabhupada is translating distinction, differences or disharmony. There is no disharmony. Samasta kukshav. Why there is no disharmony? Because actually everything is existent in the Supreme Lord. Everything is His. There is no disharmony. Samasta kukshav means abdomen. Everything is in His abdomen or everything is situated in Him. So there is no question of any disharmony in the spiritual world. This disharmony between whom? Atmanam Atmani. Atmanam means the living entities. Atmani means the super soul. We the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Atmanam. Atmani, the super soul. So there is no disharmony between the living entities and the Supreme Lord. How can you say so? Now a very beautiful example is given by them. Nabho nabhasi iva. It is just like nabha and nabhasi. There is a small space, there is a bigger space. Say for example, in a cup there is a small space, outside the cup there is a bigger space. There is no disharmony between them. Both are space. Isn't it? Prabhupada gives another example. In this body, the whole body can be called nabhasi, the complete space, and then individual part also have space. The lungs has some space, kidney has some space, heart has occupied some space. But even though all of them are individual and all of them also occupy some space and the body also occupies bigger space, there is no disharmony. So nabha nabhasi iva and dhiraha pashyanti. This is how dhiras see. This is how intelligent people see. What do they see? Nahi antaram bhagavati iha. How do the Dhira see? Nahi antaram, there is no distinction, there are no differences, there is no disharmony. Between whom? Atmani, Atmanam, Atmani. Between the living entities and the Supreme Lord. Bhagavati Iha, in the Vaikuntha world, in the world of the Supreme Lord. How there is no distinction? Nabho nabasi yatha. It is just like the small space and bigger space. There is no distinction. There is no disharmony. Is there a disharmony? My heart has occupied some space, lung has occupied, and they are fighting with each other. Why? This is my space. Any disharmony is there between different parts of our body? All of them are working for the body. No disharmony. Similarly, in the Vaikuntha world, there is no such disharmony. Pashyanti dhiraha. This is how dhira, learned people, describe. And that is why they are asking this question. Yatra yuvayoho Suralinga iho kim? You're all dressed like Suralinga. You're all dressed like inhabitants of Vaikuntha. But where this distinction has come? That there is some enemy and somebody is trying to harm the Supreme Lord here in Vaikuntha world. Somebody is trying to enter like an enemy here. Where this distinction has come? Where is disharmony in the spiritual world? Between residents and the Supreme Lord. So how are you thinking in that way? Correct? So they are asking these questions to the two doormen. Kim vyutpaditam. Vyutpaditam means how this has developed in you, how this has awakened in you, this duplicity, this differences, conception of differences, how this has come in you. Udarabhedi bhayam yato asya. Where is the question of fear in the spiritual world? Fear exists when there is duality. In absolute world, where is the question of fear? So where this fear has come in your mind? Some enemy has come here, let us stop him. Isn't it? So this is the question which is asked by these four Kumaras. So Prabhupada translates, in the Vaikuntha world, there is a complete harmony between the residents and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as there is a complete harmony between space, the big and the small skies. Why then there is a need of fear in the field of harmony? These two persons are dressed like inhabitants of Vaikuntha, but where from can their disharmony come into existence? It looks little puzzling. Let us try to understand. It's very simple. Prabhupada describes in a very beautiful way. Prabhupada has given 4 to 5 paragraphs here. All very beautiful, describing one very interesting attributes of Vaikuntha world or material world. First simple thing Prabhupada describes, 2 distinctions. Material world, disharmony. Spiritual world, complete harmony. Simple distinction. Material world, disharmony. With all of us together, disharmony. With the Supreme Lord also, disharmony. Together also we are not having harmony. People are not able to coexist, fight with each other. Disharmony with nature, exploit nature. Disharmony with other living entities, cut their throat, kill them. Disharmony. Fight with each other. Where is God? Who is God? Disharmony with spiritual, disharmony with God. So material world means filled with disharmony. Spiritual world, completely opposite. Complete harmony. No question of disharmony. If disharmony arises, he does not belong there. He cannot be dressed like a Vaikuntha man. He should better come here. And actually that is the case. Moment, we are also residents of spiritual world once upon a time. We were all residents of spiritual world. The moment we become not one in interest with the Lord, immediately there is an arrangement. You go to a place where all such people can gather together and practice it openly. No problem. God will not say anything. But at least here you don't disturb this harmony. Because Vaikuntha means no disharmony. Simple. Prabhupada is saying, how we can understand this? Even in the material world we can understand this. Those who want to live in harmony, they are called citizens. Those who do not want to live in harmony with other citizens or with government, then another department is created, smaller department is created, that is called prison house. So there is civil department, there is criminal department. And Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is describing criminal department is not very big, it's very small. We are thinking it is all in all. We the residents of this prison, we are everything. Imagine if in Hubli there is maybe one prison, in the Dharwad there may be one prison. And if all the residents of the prison start thinking, we are everything, this world is everything. We are living in this jail, this is everything. No, that is not everything. First of all, prison house is created for putting you in a misery. Prison house is not created for comforts of life. You cannot say in prison house, I will play badminton, I will play cricket. Every day I should have feast. No, that is not possible. Once I was describing in one class which I had heard. Just like when we make a temple, the architects, they plan out. There has to be lot of good ventilation. We were planning, when we were planning our auditorium, I was discussing with the architect. No, there need to be a lot of ventilation here. Good light should come. Isn't it? Everything should be bright. When they are planning prison house, they will be planning everything should be dark. Because if all facilities are given, then they will think this is heaven. Why to live outside? Here आराम से खाना भी मिलेगा, सब कुछ मिलेगा. Isn't it? Free में खाना, no work we have to do. And every day we are getting good and nice light is there, good air conditioning is there. Then everybody would like to fill up the jails. Nobody will be interested to live outside. So, similarly, when the material world is created, it is created by Maya to give miserable conditions to us. Threefold miseries, fourfold miseries, different kinds of miseries. And in between them, some little drops of little sukha, little happiness we gain. Just to get released from that misery. And we think that is happiness. Isn't it? So Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Ekenam shena sthito jagat. What is this material world? Just a partial energy of mind. This is called Ekapad Vibhuti. Spiritual world is called Tripad Vibhuti. Opulence of the Lord are in abundance in the spiritual world. It is very minute, very partial in the material world. We get blinded by this opulence of the material world itself. Isn't it? So, this is the first thing Prabhupada is describing about criminal department. There will be always disharmony. Material world filled with disharmony. Spiritual world on the other hand is filled with harmony. Now, question may be asked, so what is that which creates harmony in the spiritual world and what is that which creates disharmony in the material world? Is it possible? In this material world also can we have harmony? Because there must be something, some principle must be there because of which everybody is in harmony with God in the spiritual world. So what is that is lacking in this world? Is it possible to fulfill this lacuna? Can we put something into place by which this disharmony can be released? Yes. Prabhupada says it is possible. So that hint also Prabhupada is giving. Prabhupada is saying, if you live with that principle, even in this society, you should know you are not living in the material world, you are living in spiritual world. Krishna is ready to create. Krishna is ready to create Vaikuntha. Krishna is ready to create his embassy even in the material world. And just like in the embassy, if you see, if Indian embassy is there in America, Indian laws are followed. American laws are not followed in that. It's an extension of India in America. So Vaikuntha in the world means it is extension of the Lord's world in this material world. So even in Krishna consciousness, we can create Vaikuntha by following that important principle. See? I'll start with one wonderful example which Prabhupada gives to make you understand why one single principle is very important to create harmony. One single principle. If you don't follow that single principle and you follow so many other principles, actually you cannot create harmony. Now the principle Prabhupada is saying, in the last purport we had read about this. Time was less, I was not able to dwell on that. Today we will discuss that. Here in this material world, the citizens may be inimical to the chief executive or head of state. But in Vaikuntha, there is no such mentality. One is not allowed to enter Vaikuntha unless he has completely developed the good qualities. And then Prabhupada is saying, what does it mean? Somebody may say, I am also having good qualities. I am very honest. I am very kind to people. Isn't it? Many people you will find. I am very charitable. I am also having all good qualities. And we also sometimes think, yes, Prabhu is very charitable, very kind. Isn't it? But actually speaking, if that single most principle is missing, then all other qualities have no values whatsoever. Prabhupada gives a very wonderful example to make us understand what does it mean. There was a bunch of thieves. This bunch of thieves got together. They looted, plundered one bank, took out all the money from the bank, ran away to the forest. Then they sat there under the forest and they said, now all of us should divide this loot honestly. Faithfully we should divide this loot among ourselves without cheating. See? It is like devil reciting Bhagavad Gita, scriptures. When it came to looting the bank, no honesty. When it came to divide the loot among themselves, they are talking of honesty. Where is honesty? Where is honesty? Correct? Similar thing. We are saying, I am charitable, I am kind, I am this, I am that. First of all, you understand the basic principle that nothing of this world belongs to you. If you are claiming this is my money, I gave in charity to somebody, we are thieves. Tena eva sa uchyate, Ishopanishadam says. It says very clearly, first principle is to accept, Isha vasyam idam sarvam, yat kimcha jagatyam jagat. Everything belongs to God. accept that subordinate position. So Prabhupada is saying, the first basic principle of goodness is to accept subordination to God. If this principle is accepted, all good qualities will come. If you accept, actually I am servant, my dear Lord, you are the master, you are the proprietor, you are the owner, you are the enjoyer. If we accept this basic principle, all good qualities will come. Harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. All gunas will come, all good qualities will come. See? So now the question comes is, very simple it becomes now. So now why there is harmony in the spiritual world? Everybody is guided by this principle. I am eternal servant of Krishna. My only work is to satisfy Krishna. I am subordinate to Him. Completely dependent on His mercy. With this principle, everything is harmonious in the spiritual world. And in the material world, why there is disharmony? Because of this. No, why Krishna? I am well-wisher of everyone. I will do good for you. I will do charity. I will give you money. I will help you. Then somebody may think, but devotees are also doing that. But what is their understanding? Devotee is not doing like that. As a representative of Krishna, devotee is doing, not in his individual capacity. Devotee wants to do the best welfare by making others devotee of Krishna. He has very pure desires, just like in today's conversation, very beautiful conversation. Very beautiful. Prabhupada explains about this harmony principle in that conversation. How a pure devotee is in complete harmony with the Lord. Dr. Patel asked Prabhupada asked the time, what time the darshan will open? So Dr. Patel said some 7:30 or whatever. And then Dr. Patel is saying, but if you want, it can open early, if you order. It's very interesting, you will find. How a pure devotee is so realized. Dr. Patel, you will have to order them to open early. Prabhupada, no. Why shall I? Their duty must be finished. You cannot ask God, God, please open, I want to see you. Cannot ask God like that. So you are not order giver. We are order carriers. We are servant of the Lord. We cannot order the Lord. Dr. Patel, yes, you order God. Prabhupada, no, I can order, but that is not my business. Dr. Patel, that is, he understands the word. Even though you don't say by mouth, God understands. Prabhupada, no. It is not my order to order God. He is saying, it is not my order. I am not telling that you should order God. Dr. Patel, no, it is not your order, but your mind he understands immediately that he comes here. And then Prabhupada is saying, no, why shall I think like this? Why shall I think like that? That I will not order verbally, but God will understand my mind and He should open the curtain. Why should I think like that? Dr. Patel, because, Prabhupada, no, that is not bhakti. Dr. Patel, when you are not thinking, the thoughts automatically come. Prabhupada, no, that is not bhakti. You cannot think God may do like this. No. Dr. Patel, no, God does like that. Why He do? Prabhupada, no. You say that you order Krishna what you think. Dr. Patel, I don't say you order. Automatically He fulfills your desire. There is no question of your ordering. Prabhupada then he is further saying, therefore we should be desireless. So even that is not desire. Dr. Patel, desireless, yes, desireless, but Prabhupada, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, that is bhakti. Anya Abhilashita means, as God desires, let it happen. As God desires, let it happen. This is called complete harmony. As God desires, let it happen. Not according to my desire, that is bhakti. As soon as you impose your desire, that is not bhakti. Why should you impose your desire? God is ready to fulfill the desire of his devotee immediately, he is ready. But a devotee never desires. He does not like to bring God to fulfill his desire. That is not a pure devotee. See, that is the difference between Vaikuntha world and this material world. Devotees always thinking to satisfy Krishna's desire, not that God should satisfy my desire as I want to do, as I want to serve him according to my ways. No. That is not pure devotional service. So, this is very important. So, Prabhupada is saying here, all living entities who are the resident of the material universes are considered to be more or less criminals because they do not wish to abide by the order of the Lord, or they are against the harmonious activities of God's will. So in that sense, practically everybody in the material world is a criminal. We have all come to not the civil department. The civil department of God is Vaikuntha. The criminal department of God is this material world. The principle of creation is that the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is by nature joyful. One may question, okay, God, He is Anandamyo Bhyasat. Right? Why did He create all of us? First of all, why this creation is there? Whether it is spiritual creation or the material creation. Why this creation is there? Just like if you ask this question, why government has created so many facilities here? Why there are houses, why there are families, why all these things are there? And at the same time, government also makes exceptional cases. It is required. When the state is made, along with it, prison house is also made. Because there will be people who would not like to live in harmony with government or with each other. Such people can be segregated separately. And when they come back to normal position, again they can join the citizens, when their mentality is improved. So similarly, question may be asked, why did God create Vaikuntha? Why did God create Vaikuntha? Why so many living entities God has created? Why not alone, single? Isn't it? So, that Gaudiya Vaishnava's understanding from the scriptures is that Eko Bahusham, the Lord expands. And Lord has many expansions, not one kind of expansion. There are Swamsha, there are Vibhinnamsha. All the different expansions of the Lord as Vishnu, Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Baladeva. First expansion is Lord Balaram, Swayam Prakash. All these different expansions, Prakash, they are called as Swamsha. There is no difference in the potency, exactly the same. Just like Krishna, it is said, what is Balaram and Krishna, what is the difference? It is just the different color of the Lord. Otherwise, as such, there is no difference. Of course, Krishna is called Adi Purusha. And then, there is another called Avatara. When those expansions or the Lord Himself descends to this material world, That is called avatara, incarnation. When they descend to the world, it is called avatara. When they are in the spiritual world, they are called expansions. Then there is another expansion of the Lord, that is Shakti of the Lord, internal potency, Antaranga Shakti. Another expansion of the Lord, external energy of the Lord. Another expansion of the Lord, Jiva Tattva, Vibhinnamsha, who are in middle. Sometimes we are under spiritual energy, sometimes we are under external energy. So all these are different expansions of the Lord. Why does the Lord expand? Because that is His nature. Anandamyo bhyasa. It is for His. Why does the Father expand? Why He does not remain alone? Why does He expand into family, into children? To get pleasure and to give pleasure. It is foolishness if the son starts thinking, no father, I don't want to exist in this material world. Mother, take me back into your womb once again. Isn't it? So these impersonalists are like that. Actually they are created for Ananda. In company of the Lord, in association of Lord, in harmony with the Lord, they can also enjoy. Isn't it? They can also enjoy. But foolish living entities, they want to say, no, I want to merge in you, God. I don't want existence. Actually, they are living in this material world, in this criminal, in this prison house. They are suffering so much. Sometimes what happens when a person is suffering so much, what does he do? He commits suicide. Not knowing that actually sufferings are temporary. With proper understanding, with proper knowledge, suffering can be removed. When the living entity forgets this, his real nature in association of God is Vaikuntha. And there is no disharmony. Only in the material world there is suicide, not in the spiritual world. There is no question of suicide. So what is the principle? The principle is everyone should work for the interest of God. And it's very essential even for devotees. If we devotees cannot stay together, if we devotees do not have a harmony with each other, where is the question we can create harmony for other people? We want to create harmony in the whole world. First, we have to learn to create harmony amongst ourselves. Prabhupada is saying that very important thing. In the last, we don't have much time. Prabhupada is saying, in the spiritual world, this religious principle of Krishna consciousness is maintained in harmony, and therefore that world is called Vaikuntha. If the same principle can be adopted here, wholly or partially, it is also Vaikuntha. So, it is with any society, such as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. If the members of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, putting faith in Krishna as center, live in harmony according to the order and principles of Bhagavad Gita, they are living in Vaikuntha, not in the material world. It's very simple. So those who want to live in harmony, those who want to live in Vaikuntha actually will live. And those who do not want to live in Vaikuntha, then the Lord arranges for them that better you go out of the society of the devotees. So we should not expect. Prabhupada is saying either wholly or partially. At least partially we should try to follow. Isn't it the principles of Krishna consciousness? Like other day we were discussing, we cannot expect utopian situation. Everything is perfect. This is a training ground, and gradually, once we become completely purified, we become trained up, that yes, we will be all living in Vaikuntha. So we have to learn to adjust. This principle should be in mind. All our other things we should keep aside. And that is the most important factor of living in harmony in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise differences will be there. Everybody is individual. My ideas may not match with your idea. His idea may not match. Our way of working may not match with each other. What is the uniting principle? The uniting principle is pleasure of Krishna. That is the uniting principle. So we'll stop with this. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.